Niner family, the air in Santa Clara will give you goosebumps tonight. There's a shakeup in the trenches, pain no one wants to admit, and a bold decision that could redefine Thursday. A contract wrinkle opened an unexpected window. An injury that seemed under control flared up at the worst time. And on offense, a stubborn stat is chipping away at our identity. If I told you all of it connects, creating risk and opportunity at the same time, would you lean in? You won't believe what we've got today. So get comfy, drop a like, and let's dive straight into the news. You know when a single missing piece makes the whole machine start to grind. The 49ers felt that in the worst way when Nick Bosa was lost for the season. If this team wants to keep a championship ceiling, the internal message is blunt. Edge pressure now. Among the names being evaluated, one fit has picked up momentum, high motor, run discipline, and cap math that doesn't choke 2025. It's the kind of profile that learns the terminology in 2 days, jumps into the rotation without drama, and changes the music on third down. When the right piece shows up, you feel it, and it's on our radar. Yes, we're talking about Carl Granderson of the Saints. He's sitting on 4.5 early season sacks, and more importantly, he brings consistent early down pressure and a firm edge against the run. In base, he works the strong side, usually on the right, squeezing the corner and freeing the linebackers to flow. In sub, he aligns at 5 or 9 tech, executes TE stunts next to Hargrave, and on third down can reduce to a 4-eye in simulated pressures, unlocking one-on-ones outside. That fits the philosophy of changing the picture and stealing half a second from the offensive line. With Bosa out, Michael Williams takes on more snaps. Granderson raises the floor on contain so the rookie can attack with confidence without being overloaded. Relentless effort, good leverage, and disciplined hands round out the package. And the numbers work. New Orleans restructured his deal, and for an in-season acquirer, the 2025 impact is lean, about $6.48 million. The jump comes in 2026, when the figure projects near $18.06 million dead, with a $2 million roster bonus. Translation, a premium rental with a built-in option. If the fit pops, you keep him. If not, you close the loop without handcuffing the next moves. San Francisco has the space to absorb the lighter hit now and decide later, preserving flexibility to fortify elsewhere. But would the other side pick up the phone? The Saints live in a chronic cap squeeze and already converted another 2025 chunk just to breathe, a sign of thin margins. That doesn't mean a fire sale, but it does open the door if their season tilts. There's no public sign of negotiations. What exists is cold logic. The 49ers need a flexible contract, hot production. That's why speculation columns have connected the dots and painted Granderson in red and gold. What would it cost? Recent comps for impact edge help set the price. A 2026 third-rounder plus a conditional fifth that escalates to a fourth with sack/slap thresholds. If a bidding war breaks out, think a third plus fourth, with a rotational DL tossed in as a sweetener to balance the books. Controlled risk, immediate return. Fans argue whether it's worth opening the pick wallet for a premium rental that protects the ceiling without Bosa. The staff weighs snap load and durability, because December and January charge interest on every rep. Simple math, accessible price, clear impact, a 2026 decision made with a cool head. And that wasn't even the most surprising part of the day. The loss to the Jaguars already left a bitter taste, but what followed only cranked up the pressure. Prep for Thursday against the Rams began under a shadow, the very real possibility of going in without two of the most reliable targets on offense. Ricky Pearsall felt that knee again and exited late in the fourth after a sideline grab. Jawan Jennings, same warrior as always, took a shot to the ribs after a 2-point try and is now a question mark too. On Monday, Kyle Shanahan tried to keep his cool but made it clear. With a Thursday kickoff, any nagging pain turns into a blaring alarm.
Why does this hit so hard? Because the offense has been limping already. George Kittle is still on injured reserve with a hamstring. Brandon Ayuk isn't back to 100% from last year's knee surgery. That means the aerial threat has leaned almost entirely on Pearsall and Jennings. Without them, opposing defenses look at Christian McCaffrey and think, just choke the box and force Shanahan into a corner. It's no coincidence that, so far, the 49ers are the only team in the league without a rushing touchdown. Heavy two-high shells are squeezing the run, unafraid of the vertical shot. Fans can see it from a mile away and scratch their heads. How did an offense that used to be a synonym for creativity and explosion start struggling to reach 20 points a game? The truth is, injuries have shredded any sense of continuity. Pearsall had become the safety valve, the guy who forces safeties to respect the intermediate. Jennings, with his frame and attitude, creates space for McCaffrey and converts third downs. Without them, you're down to back-end receivers who get zero respect from coverages. And with a short week to prepare for Thursday, rebuilding an entire plan becomes nearly impossible. Shanahan himself admitted he'll need different answers. There's no miracle when two of your three trustworthy receivers are iffy. Maybe we'll see a motion-heavy script to manufacture mismatches, or more volume for the backup tight ends, but the unpredictability factor drops. In a division rivalry against a 3-1 Rams team that could cost the conference lead, the fan base is split. Some want Persall and Jennings protected even in a pivotal game, thinking long-term. Others say Thursday is do or die. Payne be damned. The one question no one can answer is simple. How do you win a trench war without healthy frontline soldiers? The offense is already overloaded, and if the training room doesn't clear, Shanahan will have to pull rabbits out of hats. And while we're spiraling about that, brace yourself, because what's next cuts even deeper into the 49ers' identity. The scariest thing for any Niners fan isn't just losing games, it's losing identity. And the uncomfortable truth, the ground game. Kyle Shanahan's calling card has been a shadow of itself. 4 weeks, 0 rushing touchdowns. It sounds surreal in San Francisco, but the numbers don't lie. McCaffrey has chipped in as a receiver, but on the ground, it's a different story. 22 carries for 69 yards in the opener, then a string of sub-4 per carry days. Against Jacksonville, 17 rushes for only 49 yards. For an all-pro, that's a tough pill to swallow. But this isn't just about him. The issue is structural. The offensive line has lost its road grader edge. Even Trent Williams, the gold standard of consistency, is showing his age. The fits are tight, the holes are stingy, and defenses don't fear the pass, so they're crowding the line with impunity. Shanahan confirmed it. They're seeing heavy too-high shells, and even then San Francisco hasn't been able to punish with explosives or sustain with third down execution. The gears are stuck. Combine a declining OL, a receiver room, wrapped in injuries, and an aging McCaffrey, and you get a run game that's predictable and easy to bottle up. The fan base is divided. Some feel CMC's decline is obvious and snaps should be managed, or a successor should be prioritized. Others blame the line and preach patience, believing that with reinforcements and tweaks, there's still plenty in the tank. Neither side is completely wrong. Yes, CMC is aging, but you can't pin it all on him when there are no lanes. It's the classic scenario where multiple cracks form at once, making it almost impossible to identify a single villain. The short-term outlook doesn't help. Aurier might not be back until around mid-season. Kittle can't be activated yet. Persall and Jennings, as we've said, are question marks for Thursday. That means Shanahan will face defenses increasingly brazen about ignoring the pass. The projection says this run game could remain in the ICU at least until the season's midpoint. Is there an emergency fix? Maybe a line reinforcement via trade. Maybe more runs dressed up with motion and reverses to hide tendencies. But nothing seems sufficient without a healthy, respected core. From the outside, what you see is a team famous for creativity, living through a stretch of impotence in its most historic weapon. It's hard to say, but right now, the 49ers have a rushing attack that scares no one. When that reality hits, there's only one move. Face it, head on. Either Shanahan reinvents the whole thing on the fly, or the better-prepared rival will keep exploiting that open wound. But hold on, because what comes next goes straight to the heart of this team's leadership and could flip the entire season. Just when we thought we'd seen the worst, we hit the most delicate point: the quarterback's health. Brock Purdy came back against the Jaguars, but looked like a different player. 3 first-down turnovers, high and scattershot throws, reduced mobility. Officially, he was off the injury report, but anyone with eyes could see it. That toe isn't right. The next day, Shanahan changed his tune and admitted the quarterback complained of soreness after the game. If the toe hurt in Jacksonville, what should we expect in Los Angeles on a short week Thursday? The dilemma is brutal. Purdy is special because he extends plays, evades pressure, and throws on the move. With the toe compromised, he becomes a pocket statue, but without accuracy. Worst combo imaginable: can't escape sacks, can't stick the throws. In that version, he's a huge risk on the field. The inevitable comparison shows up: Mac Jones, the backup. He doesn't move, but he executes like a classic pocket passer, hitting the quick and intermediate game. In an offense already battered by injuries, perhaps the safer option is the quarterback who won't improvise, but will deliver the basics. The harshest criticism falls on Shanahan. Against Jacksonville, it was obvious Purdy was limited, and yet he stayed in. The result: 3 possessions wasted, and arguably a win that slipped away. That kind of decision weighs on a locker room and a fan base because it looks like stubbornness over reason. Now, with the division summit still within reach, the staff has to choose: keep a hobbled Purdy out there or trust Jones not to sink the ship. The fan base is split. Some want Purdy shut down immediately so he can return at full strength, even if it costs a game. Others want QB1 on the field, banking on him to push through pain and flash the old spark. What nobody wants is a replay of Jacksonville, turnovers that kill any chance. Thursday won't wait, and the season's fate may hinge on that choice. A tiny toe detail could redefine the entire arc of 2025. Niners Nation, deep breath. Today we faced 4 truths that sting the heart and ignite the will to respond. A viable target to salvage edge pressure without Bosa, an offense battered with Parasol and Jennings in doubt, a ground game stripped of identity, and a massive quarterback dilemma days before the Rams. None of that defines who we are, but it demands an immediate answer. What would you do right now? Invest in the pass rush, protect the wideouts, rework the run plan, or sit Purdy to heal? Drop your take in the comments, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We push forward together always.